From Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up on the news, the chaos continues in Congress after 10 votes have failed to select the next Speaker of the House.
Plus, Nebraska racing fans could buy a piece of the historic I-80 Speedway. We spoke to the owners about the upcoming auction.
But first, Nebraska officially has a new leader. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Jim Pillen was inaugurated as the 41st governor of Nebraska in a ceremony this afternoon. Pillen takes over for Governor Pete Ricketts, who served 2 terms in office. This is our top story tonight. Pillen was joined by his family and members of the state government. During the inauguration, he spoke about his admiration and love for the people of Nebraska, expressing excitement in serving this new role.
He talked about transitional tax change, proper funding to schools, specifically mentioning a modernizing education, and building a better future for kids in the state.
Pillen also talked about what the state can do to keep talent here and recruit more people to live in Nebraska.
The demand for the good life is as strong as ever, but today we have some obstacles to overcome. Too much of our talent leaves the state. We have to do a better job of keeping our kids here, equipping them with the skill sets that they'll need, and attracting even more top-tier talent across the nation to our state.
He also thanked his family, members of the armed services, first responders, and former Nebraska football coach Tom Osborne, whom Pillen played defensive back for back in 1975 to 1978. We're going to have more from today's inauguration, as well as speaking to Governor Pillen one-on-one right now. Our reporter is with him. We'll have that at 6 and 10 o'clock for you tonight. And today was also the first day for senators to introduce bills and amendments.
Some of the most interesting bills to keep an eye on were decriminalizing the use and possession of marijuana, as well as allowing citizens to carry concealed handguns without a permit. Channel 8's Mackenzie Johnson was at the session this morning and spoke with a senator who wants to change the unique way our legislature works. She joins us now. Mackenzie?
That's right. Senator Steve Erdman introduced a constitutional amendment to switch Nebraska from a unicameral to a bicameral legislature. Right now, Nebraska is the only state in the country with a unicameral legislature. Erdman's idea is to split the legislature into a Senate and House of Representatives. Right now, there's just the Senate. He says he isn't sure if this will make it to the floor for debate, since so many legislators are in favor of the unicameral. Those opposing his amendment say the unicameral is in the best interest of the people of Nebraska, as it helps legislators get more done during their time.
The opposition will be significant. I understand that, but it's time to have a discussion. This nonpartisanship isn't really exist except in somebody's mind, and we need to have a discussion about representation in rural Nebraska.
Not only is it the law, it works. It helps to keep the focus on the business of the people, not partisan special interests.
And coincidentally, at the beginning of today's session, Senator Conrad recognized George Norris, the Nebraska senator who campaigned for the unicameral legislature in the 1930s. And tonight at 6, we're going to hear more on the logistics of how Senator Erdman's plan would work if it's passed. Reporting at the state capitol, I'm Mackenzie Johnson, Channel 8 News.
All right, Mackenzie, look forward to your other stories as well. Staying with the legislature now, how does no income tax or property tax sound?
That could be a reality for Nebraskans if a new bill gets passed or constitutional amendment petitions are signed. The proposal is called the Epic Consumption Tax. Now, EPIC is an acronym for Eliminates Property, Income, including inheritance, and the Corporate Business Tax. Senator Steve Erdman introduced the legislation and petitions today.
We have put a Band-Aid on an amputation by the Property Tax Credit Fund and all of those things that we've done to supposedly lower property tax. So over the last 8 years, we've given about $1 billion in property tax relief, when in fact property tax has gone up $1.6 billion. So it's a decrease in the increase. And none of that puts us competitive with our neighbors as far as taxation goes.
Under the new tax, all purchased new goods and services would be taxed at a rate of under 8%. That would exclude groceries, used cars, and previously owned homes. Businesses also wouldn't be taxed on inputs for their company. So, for example, a barber wouldn't be taxed for purchasing shears.
Now, there are 2 petitions going around that would allow this bill to go forward if the legislature doesn't pass the bill and constitutional amendment that was introduced. Speaking of politics, drama continues to play out on Capitol Hill for the third straight day. Republican gridlock in the House over who should be Speaker.
Kevin McCarthy lost his 10th straight vote to be Speaker because of a group of about 20 conservative members who are refusing to support him. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington with the latest.
House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy hoping a new round of concessions he made would create cracks in the conservative opposition aligned against his bid to become House Speaker.
A speaker has not been elected.
But an 8th round of voting resulting in 8 straight losses for McCarthy. 20 ultra-conservative colleagues once again blocking him from securing enough votes to take the Speaker's gavel.
This dung crap, which is chaos.
McCarthy himself acknowledging defeat even before the latest round of votes Thursday, saying he doesn't expect any new ballots today to yield a different vote tally than he's gotten in the past 2 days. But he believes he's making progress.
Nothing's agreed to until everything's agreed to.
ABC News has learned some of the concessions McCarthy has made to the so-called rebel Republicans include offering to change the House rules to allow just one lawmaker to force a vote to remove him as Speaker. He has also agreed to put more far-right Republicans on the powerful House Rules Committee and bring bills on term limits and border security up for a vote. Some of the holdouts reportedly willing to accept his offer, but others digging in their heels.
Does it look like I'm ready to make a deal?
The paralyzed House means members can't be sworn in, receive classified briefings, and they have limited power to help their constituents. Even payroll for some congressional staff is on hold.
I think the American people has seen a sharp contrast between the unity of House Democrats and the ever-deepening dysfunction and division of House Republicans, and it raises serious questions about the ability of House Republicans to govern.
And instead of McCarthy, Florida Representative Matt Gaetz voted for former President Donald Trump today, the first time this cycle that any member-elect has voted for someone not currently in Congress. A reminder that there's really no rule that the Speaker has to be a lawmaker. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
All right, from politics to weather, Jessica is in for Rusty tonight. We saw the sun for a while today.
Yeah, those clouds finally pushed off from our last system, and we got a lot of sunshine here and across the state. So honestly, looking at the high temperatures today, it's the snow cover that dictated where some of us got. Southeast Nebraska, upper 30s, 40s in a spot. In Hebron, 41 degrees was the high today. And then as you can see, the northeast Nebraska towards the southwest, anywhere in the upper 20s, a lot of that because of the snow cover still on the ground. But that sunshine returning makes for a beautiful sunset out there right now. Looking at Groundworks Cam, you can see a lot of the gradient of colors looking across the sky, and we're still at about 36 degrees at the airport, and most of us actually reading 36 at Southeast Community College and Yankee Hill Road, as well as East Campus. But looking across southeast Nebraska, we've got some cooler spots out there, 30 degrees in Wahoo, 31 in Columbus, as well as Omaha, and then right around freezing out towards the Tri-Cities. But the forecast going into tonight, we're going to start to cool down into the lower 20s and eventually reach the mid to upper teens by tomorrow morning for another chillier start, but again, right around average, so pretty typical January day. And looking towards the next several days, we're going to get warmer yet tomorrow, and then we do have a weaker system sliding on by Saturday. We've got some developments with that system, as well as temperatures rising above 40s back again on Sunday. So a little bit of a roller coaster ride in terms of the next few days, but of course, more to talk about coming up in the full forecast.
All right, thank you, Jessica. Fans of the I-80 Speedway near Greenwood would be able to buy part of the historic racetrack through an auction coming up next week.
The family who owns the track says they're selling the land and have to get rid of everything on the property. Channel 8's Matthew Mittleiter has more.
Unfortunately for racing fans in Nebraska, the land where the I-80 Speedway stood for nearly 30 years has been sold by the Kosiski family. The racetrack, which is northeast of Lincoln, had been in operation since 1994 and was purchased by the family in 2004. Steve Kosiski said his family owns the salvage lot nearby and originally bought the track to expand their business. He says they own 2 auto recycling yards and a number of other entities that take up their time, so it's been difficult to continue running the track.
We have some multiple businesses going on, and it takes up all of our nights, weekends, everything else. It was stressful because you wanted to succeed. So you put a lot of heart, a lot of effort into it, and it took a lot of effort to become successful here.
The racetrack featured weekly races and events throughout the year, and last May even hosted a rally for former President Donald Trump to support governor candidate Charles Herbster. The Koziski family is selling everything through an auction, including track prep equipment, lights, bleachers, concession stand equipment, and even the playground. The auction consists of 5 rings with different items, which will be sold over the course of a week beginning January 9th. Steve says he and his brother Joe will miss the races and the fans, but have kept plenty of pictures and trophies.
There's a lot of things that have to go. I have one piece that we are going to keep. Joe and I both talked, and that's our 62 VW bus we took as a pace vehicle around the track. Our other pace car and other equipment will sell.
He said they'll now be focusing more on their businesses, taking time to relax, and going to see other races. He wants to thank the fans for coming out over the years and supporting them.
A lot of the big events really brought in a lot of great crowds, good people. You like seeing that part of the success in business when you're working. But after a while, you got to stop accumulating all your time and just work. So we're going to enjoy some time off, we hope, and we still have quite a few races we'll go to next year.
The auction will begin on Monday and will close on January 16th. Reporting in Lincoln, Matthew Mitleiter, Channel 8 News.
And to see all of the items being sold or for more information about the auction, just go to this story on our website, klkntv.com. Now we turn to some crime news. A UPS driver caused more than $55,000 in damage after crashing into a home in southeast Lancaster County.
It happened in Holland, Nebraska, which is just southeast of Hickman. Lancaster County Sheriff's Office says the driver lost control, hit a parked vehicle, then a utility pole, and then crashed into a home on South 96th Street. The 37-year-old UPS driver did have an open container of alcohol, according to officials, but they say she was not drunk. She was cited for careless driving. Coming up, Buffalo Bills safety, Mr. Hamlin, showing what his doctors say are remarkable improvements.
Including writing a note. We'll tell you what Hamlin wrote after the break. Encouraging news out of Cincinnati today, where Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin is being treated after suffering cardiac arrest during Monday Night Football.
Yeah, doctors say he's showing signs of improvement and has been able to squeeze his family members' hands. ABC's Morgan Norwood has more from Cincinnati.
Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin showing what his doctors say are remarkable improvements. Doctors at UC Medical Center in Cincinnati giving an update.
Beginning to awaken, and it appears that his neurological condition and function is intact.
It's the news that millions around the world had been praying for and comes as the Bills hit the practice field today. Doctors saying Hamlin, though awake, is able to communicate via writing, asking first about the game.
He asked, did we win? The answer is yes, Damar, you won. You've won the game of life.
Hamlin's heart stopped on the field during Monday Night Football. The 24-year-old collapsed shortly after taking this hit to the chest. What caused his cardiac arrest is still not being made public, but doctors could be looking at commotio cordis, which can trigger cardiac arrest after a blunt force injury to the chest. The league now considering whether changes to player uniforms could better protect them. As for Hamlin, support continuing to pour in, with donations to his children's foundation skyrocketing to more than $7 million raised and counting. Meanwhile, praises for the medical team who quickly responded and resuscitated Hamlin on the field.
Bill's training staff who was with him immediately recognized that this was not a run-of-the-mill injury and that they had a significant event on their hands and immediately responded.
And President Biden retweeting the Bills' update about Hamlin, going on to say great news, adding that he and Dr. Jill Biden and all of America are praying for Hamlin and his family. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Cincinnati.
Now, your Storm Alert team forecast with meteorologist Jessica Blum.
Well, naturally, when you have a pretty active start to the week, we've got to quiet down sometime, and we're quieting down towards the end of this week. And of course, some of our friends and family out west saw certainly a lot of snow, especially within our last few systems, but we haven't seen that much. This is kind of looking at what our winter snowfall usually looks at like through the winter months. We're currently sitting about 1.5 inches just above in terms of actual measured snowfall here in Lincoln. And December, January, we still have a lot of January left. Usually we see about 6.5 inches, and February is going to be one of our snowier months on average, so we could be seeing some more snowfall even within some of how these records kind of turn and look out in terms of how they look. But again, we still have a lot to go. So even though we haven't seen a lot of snow and some of January is looking a little bit drier through some of the extended outlooks, we could still see some snow throughout February. But looking at tonight, the sunshine returned today. Those clouds cleared out from our last system. We got a sunset going out there right now, looking at our Allo Cam at 21st and L Street. Pretty quiet out there, and temperatures still in the upper 30s. We did get to the upper 30s for a high temperature today, and still hovering right around 36 degrees in Lincoln, 30 in Wahoo, as well as 31 in Columbus, and just around freezing out towards the Tri-Cities. But again, it's been really that snowpack that's really dictated what high temperatures we're seeing where. Southeast Nebraska really clear, and we don't have much on the ground, so we were able to get close to 40 degrees today. And this is in terms of right now, we haven't seen much variation in the temperatures just yet, just because we've seen some of our high temperatures right around 3 or 4 o'clock today. But temperatures right now in Valentine, 21 degrees, 20 also in Chadron. And of course, we're looking at that system that has now tracked off to the east and sitting over the Great Lakes right now. We're pretty clear across the state with some clouds moving into the west, but we saw a lot of sunshine just across the state. So going into this evening, it's really going to be some of these clouds that are going to affect some of western Nebraska and give them some mostly cloudy skies going into this evening. But it's really this area off to the northeast that's going to expand and maybe give us some patchy areas of fog starting out the day tomorrow. But then that's really going to burn off, and we're going to have mostly sunny skies for most of the afternoon on Friday. We could see some more clouds off to the west that'll expand throughout the state going into tomorrow evening, and there'll be increasing cloud cover going into tomorrow night. But again, what we're really talking about, we've been looking at this storm system on Saturday, and in terms of models, they've really been tracking it more and more south, and we're thinking less and less moisture is going to be associated with it. So the best case scenario, we could see some flurries with it, and dry air is likely going to play a bigger picture in it. So Again, snowfall chances, there could be some slight snow showers through central Nebraska heading into this is starting at midnight on Saturday, and we don't see anything in southeast Nebraska just yet, but then we get into the later morning hours, and really best case scenario, we could see a few flurries out of this in the early morning hours, but it's not going to track through most of Nebraska and amount to much, if anything. So we're going to be dry for some time going into tomorrow, including temperatures in the mid and upper teens tonight, right around average for this evening and this time of the year. And again, tomorrow we're going to be quite above normal in terms of temperatures, reading about 42 degrees. We could see that patchy areas of fog, so if you're traveling in some of those areas tomorrow, be sure to take things slow. But again, we're going to have a little bit of a cool down with that weak system moving through on Saturday, and then temperatures are really going to start to warm back up Sunday and Monday, temperatures back into the 40s, and then we really have a pretty quiet 10-day outlook in terms of some of the precipitation with that weak system on Saturday. You could see a mix possible by next Thursday, but again, we've really been looking for anything because it's really been a quiet pattern that we're getting into, and I think a lot of us are looking forward to that, especially our friends and family out to the west that have seen so much snowfall. So maybe we're digging ourselves out a little bit out west, but we'll be pretty good here and pretty quiet for now.
Yeah, last night for our weather trivia, Rusty did what the coldest temperatures, which month has the coldest temperatures for Lincoln, and it was January. So I'm thankful to see a pretty mild forecast there for the 10 days.
Yeah, it looks like that for some time.
All right, thank you very much, Jessica. Large drops on Wall Street today. The Dow falling 340 points. NASDAQ is down 154. S&P losing about 45. Here are your numbers. You're watching Channel 8, Nebraska's trusted news source.
An impressive display, and human beings being reactive and proactive in some incredible caught-on-camera moments.
Jeremy Roth has tonight's. Take a look at this.
Today we have nature getting nurtured and a little dose of nitro. An innovative marine science effort offered a rare glimpse of life through a whale's eyes. Researchers wanted to track the movements of a pregnant North Atlantic right whale, so they literally slapped a high-def camera onto the mammal's back using a suction cup. The unorthodox effort allowed the team a front-row view of the southern migration movements of a pair of the whales. The North Atlantic right whale is one of the world's most endangered large whale species, and this particular female, named Smoke, has been tracked by scientists since 1996. A recent severe storm system shellacked the southeast, and it led to a caught-on-camera moment in North Carolina that can only be described as shocking. A pair of cameras captured lightning striking a truck and fence at JR Motorsports in Mooresville. The sudden strike was so electrifying, it appears to power on the empty truck's headlights. You know, when nature strikes, sometimes you gotta strike back. That's what a Caltrans engineering crew did to clear a South Tahoe roadway that had become blocked by a cluster of big fat fallen boulders. Hey, this here's America, Jack. When in doubt, blast her out. Woo! For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
You got to admit, that guy has a way with words, doesn't he?
He always seems to have a good time.
And his cliches and all that kind of stuff. All right, let's get a final check of the weather with Jessica. And it looks like a pretty smooth night ahead of us.
Yeah, temperatures are going to be right around normal for this time of year. We're going to have mid and upper teens tonight, maybe some patchy areas of fog tomorrow, and we'll have a warmer day at that as some of those clouds start to stay away for the time being, and we reach temperatures in the 40s. We got a few 30s sprinkled in the 10-day outlook too, but we're going to stay above average for some time. A lot of sunshine and maybe a mix possible by next Thursday, but really no impacts really from this storm system coming through Saturday morning.
All right. Thank you, Jessica, and thank you all for joining us.
World News is coming up next, and then we'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.
With the Channel 8 News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather, all in the palm of your hand.
It takes time to make Amigos enchiladas. It's not the easiest way, just the best. Amigos has the faves you crave.
Closed captioning on Channel 8 Eyewitness News is brought to you by Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Don't lose track of what's happening over the weekend in your community. Channel 8 News brings you the first look at the weekend's top stories, local events, and the forecast for the week ahead. Stay up to date with Channel 8's Weekend News.
Next ET. It feels good. What to expect from the stars at the Palm Springs International Film Festival. Plus, only ET's in Vancouver for a mini Reba reunion next ET.
Weekdays at 6:30 after Channel 8 News at 6.
At Ernie's in Ceresco, the New Year's celebration continues with up to 50% off. Furniture, appliances, mattresses, flooring, up to 50% off. Plus, no interest until 2029. New is good. Up to 50% off is even better. Plus, Ernie's has a huge inventory of in-stock products ready for immediate delivery. Extended through Sunday only. So hurry to Ernie's in Ceresco and Ernie's Mattress First Lincoln.
Open enrollment for the health insurance marketplace is November 1st through January 15th. To ensure your family is in the right plan for your budget and needs, you must re-enroll for 2023. Or for those with no coverage, it's easy to get started. Just go to howtogetcare.org to find a Navigator enrollment specialist near you. We'll help you navigate the healthcare marketplace, explain coverage options, and answer any questions. Get started at howtogetcare.org.
Would you look at that?
It's beautiful. Wow. It's our boy.
So proud.
Buy a sausage McMuffin, sausage McGriddles, or sausage biscuit and get another for just $1. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
There will always be bumps in the road, but we got guts, America. We got freedom. We got power. We got future. So let's drive up and make the future we want to see together. Because your new Ford vehicle is just the start of a journey. So stop by your Ford dealer today and choose one of the thousands of new Ford trucks and SUVs ready for delivery. We've been building this country for 119 years, but we're just getting started.
I went on many tours. I went all over Lincoln. This was the place that I got drawn to because of the people. I thought it was a perfect fit for us, so I can look back in retrospect and say, you know, I think I hit a home run on this one.
Broke spring, damaged sections, Ultimate Fixes Garage Doors. Broken cable, broken hinges, Ultimate Fixes Garage Doors. Loud doors, broken operators, Ultimate Fixes Garage Doors.
If you're having any problems with your garage doors or openers, give us a call at Ultimate Garage Door Services today.
Fly through LNK, a zero-stress, hassle-free airport.
Tonight, chilling new details on the murders of those 4 college students in Idaho, what the affidavit now reveals. Also at this hour, the stalemate on Capitol Hill, day 3. Republicans unable to agree on a speaker, Congress paralyzed. And the remarkable turnaround tonight for the Buffalo Bills star. First, the suspect charged with murder in Idaho smiling in court today, and tonight what that 18-page affidavit reveals, including where the suspect's DNA was allegedly discovered at the crime scene and how they linked it to his family's home. And for the first time, we're learning what a roommate who survived this says she saw in the hallway, describing the suspect and what he said. Kana Whitworth in Idaho. The stunning turn tonight for that Buffalo Bills star, Damar Hamlin, the team saying he is awake, communicating, showing, quote, remarkable improvement, and revealing one of the first questions he asked. 10 rounds of votes now on the Hill and still no Speaker of the House. The Republican leader, Kevin McCarthy, unable to get the votes he needs. How long will this go on? Rachel Scott live on the Hill tonight. She has new reporting. The deadly storm slamming the west, hurricane-force winds reaching 132 miles per hour, 60-mile-per-hour winds in San Francisco. And what's right behind it? Possibly up to 10 more inches of rain. And when will this be felt in the east? Rob Marciano timing it out. The dramatic capture tonight, and you'll see it, one of El Chapo's sons, Matt Rivers, in Mexico. President Biden tonight unveiling his new border security plan. His message this evening to Nicaraguans, Cubans, and Haitians trying to come to the U.S. Mary Bruce reporting. Tens of thousands paying final respects, the funeral for the late Pope Benedict XVI. And Prince Harry's new book put out early in Spain, and now the British media furiously translating it tonight, reporting that Harry writes a fight with William turned physical, Harry knocked to the floor. And Charles reportedly once joking whether he was really Harry's father. James Longman reporting from London tonight.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Thursday night. We begin tonight with those chilling new details on the brutal killings of 4 college students in Idaho. Tonight, the 18-page affidavit now revealed in the arrest of the suspect, Bryan Kohberger, before a judge in Idaho today, facing murder charges for the first time. How they linked him to the crime, where they found his DNA, and how authorities say they then linked it to the family home. And for the first time tonight, we learned that one of the surviving roommates, what she says she heard and saw describing the suspect in the hallway. Late last night, Kohberger arriving in Idaho on a flight from Pennsylvania, where he was taken into custody, and walking the few steps today into that courtroom, smiling for a time in court as he greets his attorney. 4 friends were killed that night, and now one of the survivors in that affidavit and what she heard, what the suspect allegedly said. ABC's Kana Whitworth leading us off tonight in Idaho.
Bryan Kohberger greeting his attorney with a smile today in his first appearance in an Idaho courtroom, then nodding along as the judge read the charges against him one by one.
Count 2 alleges that you committed the felony offense of murder in the first degree. The maximum penalty for that offense, if you plead guilty or are found guilty, is death and/or imprisonment for life. Do you understand?
Yes.
It comes as authorities unsealed an explosive 18-page affidavit laying out the evidence used to arrest Kohberger for the murders of 4 University of Idaho students. Investigators recovering DNA from an empty sheath for a military-style knife. It was found next to the bodies of best friends Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogan. Police later linking that DNA to Kohberger by collecting his father's DNA from trash outside the family home and linking it to their sample from the crime scene.
Did anybody do their chores today?
The close group of friends seen inside their home just weeks before the murders. And for the first time, we're hearing the chilling account from one of 2 roommates who survived. She was on the same floor as 2 of the victims who were killed, Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin, telling police she was woken by a noise at 4 a.m., hearing Kaylee say something like, "There's someone here." Then she heard crying from Xana's room, followed by a male voice saying, "It's okay. I'm going to help you." She opened her door and stood frozen as a man wearing black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. Describing him as 5'10" or taller, not very muscular, but athletically built, with bushy eyebrows. The man left out the sliding glass door. Authorities say that roommate was in shock. What they don't explain is why it took another 8 hours for police to get a 911 call from the house. Police believe Koberger turned his phone off during the murders at 2:47 a.m. The phone dropping off the cell network near his home in Pullman, Washington, and reconnecting at 4:48 a.m. near the crime scene. Police mapping out his likely route to the house. They say cell phone data also shows Koberger was near the victim's home at least a dozen times before the murders and the morning after.
We have information of a white vehicle that was in the area.
By the time police turned to the public for help finding a white Elantra, Koberger was already on police radar. An officer at Washington State found his car and noted he had bushy eyebrows, matching the description of the murder suspect. 5 days after the murders, Koberger changed his license plate from Pennsylvania to Washington when his car's registration was due for renewal. You can see that new plate during those 2 traffic stops in Indiana when Koberger was pulled over on his 2,500-mile drive back to Pennsylvania.
Incredibly difficult day for these families. Kana Whitworth with us now from Idaho. And Kana, chilling to hear that one of the roommates who survived then told investigators that she witnessed that man in the hallway. And there will be many who ask why it took so many hours to call 911 from that home. I am curious, in this 18-page affidavit, do we learn anything about whether this suspect knew anyone or had any connection to anyone in that house?
Right, David. So on the 911 call, we know that that call was made from one of the surviving roommate's cell phones and that multiple people were on the line with the dispatcher. Authorities say now that they have their suspect, the investigation into motive and connections has really just begun. They'll be relying on that cell phone data that shows he was near that home at least 12 times before the murders, maintaining, David, that this was a targeted attack.
Yeah, near that home multiple times. Kana Whitworth leading us off tonight. Thank you. There is encouraging news tonight on Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin. The team reporting he is showing, quote, remarkable improvement. So far, no neurological setbacks, saying he is alert. And tonight, one of his first questions, Alex Perez in Cincinnati.
Tonight, a remarkable turnaround for Damar Hamlin, defying odds, now awake and able to write after suffering that terrifying cardiac arrest during Monday Night Football. One of the first questions he asked doctors in writing, who won the game?
When he asked, did we win? The answer is yes. Damar, you won. You've won the game of life.
Doctors delivering the extraordinary details of Hamlin's recovery, the turning point coming late Wednesday night. The 24-year-old not only waking up, but able to move his hands and feet. And key, doctors say he seems to have no neurological issues.
It's not only that the lights are on, we know that he's home, and that it appears that all the cylinders are firing within his brain.
Hamlin collapsed on the field after this tackle during the first quarter against the Cincinnati Bengals. Today, doctors revealing those first medics on the field started the process of reviving Hamlin less than 1 minute after his heart stopped. That swift action likely saving Hamlin's life. He remains in the ICU, breathing with the help of a ventilator. Late today, the Bills taking to the field for practice. Head coach Sean McDermott emotional.
It's amazing to know the impact that this has had.
Bills quarterback Josh Allen holding back tears, describing the moment his teammate went down.
Being on that field, you lose sleep, you hurt for your brother. The scene just replays over and over in your head. It's something we'll never forget.
McDermott saying Hamlin's father addressed the team Wednesday, urging them to play for Damar.
His message was the team needs to get back to focusing on the goals that they had set for themselves. Damar would have wanted it that way.
And David, doctors say the next immediate goal is to get him gradually off of that ventilator and breathing on his own, and eventually strong enough so that he can go home. His team will be taking the field on Sunday, and they say they'll be playing for him. David?
Yeah, just an incredible turnaround, and we all welcome it. Alex Perez, thank you. Now to the drama unfolding at this hour, the continuing stalemate on Capitol Hill. 11 rounds of votes now and still no Speaker of the House. Republican leader Kevin McCarthy making major concessions, including allowing just one Republican in the future to force a vote to remove the Speaker. Of course, would that mean we could see many more scenes like what we're witnessing right now? But by the way, that major concession was still not enough. Here's Rachel Scott.
Leader McCarthy, do you have any updates?
Today,